Hey guys, it's Julia, and today I'm going to be doing my August wrap-up video. So I ended up reading a total of 5 books this month, which I would call a very successful reading month because I had a lot going on this month, but I still managed to read 5 books, and they're pretty decent sized books. So I'm gonna get right into it and start with book number 1. So the first book that I read this month was Red Queen by Victoria Aveyard. This one is one that I put off for so long, but I'm so glad I read it because it was so good. I think I ended up giving it a 4.5 stars or a 5 stars. Pretty sure it was 4.5, but it was just a really good fantasy book. And this one has been optioned for film, and it would just make a really incredible movie. So I really hope that they end up doing that. If you don't know what this story is about, it is about a girl who is a red blood, and there are silver bloods, and silver bloods have these amazing powers and red bloods don't have any powers. But one day Mare ends up going to the palace after meeting the prince, who she didn't know was the prince. She's watching these fights and ends up basically using a power that she had no idea she had, but the kingdom sees this and they don't want anybody to find out, so they end up telling everybody that she is this dead general guy's daughter and that she is going to be marrying one of the princes, the prince that is not in line to be king, which is Maven. It is just this really cool story, and I really enjoyed it. The next book I read is the second book in the series, Last Sword by Victoria Aveyard. I also enjoyed this one, not as much as I enjoyed the first one, but it was really good, and I think that the third one is going to be really good, like the first one. I think that this one was a really good build-up for the third book, so I'm excited to see what the third book brings, which I'll probably read next month because I'm really enjoying this series. Next, I read One of Us is Lying by Karen McManus, which was the BookTube Book Club pick of the month, and I ended up giving this book a 3.5 stars out of 5 stars. I thought this book was okay. It had some really good things in it, and it had some just okay things in it, but overall I would recommend reading it. I did enjoy it. It wasn't my favorite book, but I did enjoy it. If you don't know what this one is about, it is about a group of kids who are in detention, and one of the boys in detention ends up getting murdered, and it's basically them being blamed for this murder, and it's like this big deal in their town, and like they're on TV and stuff being blamed for this murder, and it's just you're trying to figure out who did it. So they're kind of comparing it to like a Breakfast Club murdery deal, and I can see that why they would say that. But the next book I read is another older book that I've been putting off for a while, but finally read it, and I'm glad that I did, because The Savage Song by V.E. Schwab, or Victoria Schwab, and I loved this book. I wasn't a big fan of A Darker Shade of Magic, so I was a little hesitant to pick this up, but I did love this book. The story was so good, and also I was hesitant to pick it up because there isn't a romance in the story, kind of. I mean, I could see where it could turn into a romance eventually, but I really loved this story. It is about a girl named Kate and a guy named August, and August is actually a monster, and there are 3 different kinds of monsters in the world that Kate lives in. Her father is one of the head people who made this peace treaty. He keeps sending Kate off to these boarding schools, but she finally convinces him after a streak of defiance to bring her back home, and she goes to this school, and August's dad ends up assigning him kind of to spy on her at school. So they end up crossing paths and kind of becoming friends, and they have to kind of figure out these crazy things that are happening in their world between the monsters and the humans. I just really liked this story. The last book is the book that I am currently reading now, but I will probably finish it this week before August is over. I'm actually pre-recording this, so I know that I will finish it within the next couple of days, and that is Queen of the Tearling by Erika Johansen. And this one is really good so far. It's kind of slow, but it's still, I can tell that it's building up to something exciting. This is a adult fiction book, so I wouldn't recommend reading it if you are younger. I've heard that it has some things like rape and abuse in it, so definitely this is going to be for more of an older audience. So that is really it for this video. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, please like and subscribe if you're not already, and I will see you guys next time. Thanks for watching. Bye!